Day 52, Deuteronomy 13 through 16. Worshipping other gods. 13. Worshipping other gods. 14. Clean and unclean food. Tithes. 15. The year for canceling debt. Freeing servant. The firstborn animals. 16. The Passover. The festival of weeks. The festival of tabernacle. Judges. Worshipping other gods. Chapter 13. But even if we or an angel from heaven should preach to you a gospel contrary to the one we preached to you, let him be accursed. Galatians 1 from ESV. We are to be on our guard against false teaching and lying wonders.
Chapter 13. If there arise in the midst of you a prophet, or a dreamer of dreams, and he give you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder comes to pass, of which he spoke to you, saying, Let us go after other gods, which you have not known, and let us serve them. You shall not listen to the words of that prophet, or to that dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your God proves you, to know whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. You shall walk after the Lord your God, and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and you shall serve him and cleave to him. That prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken rebellion against the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to draw you aside out of the way which the Lord your God commanded you to walk in. So shall you put away the evil from the midst of you. If your brother, the son of your mother, or your son or your daughter, or the wife of your bosom, or your friend who is as your own soul, entices you secretly, saying, Let us go and serve other gods, which you have not known, you nor your fathers, of the gods of the peoples who are round about you, near to you, or far off from you, from the one end of the earth even to the other end of the earth, you shall not consent to him, nor listen to him. Neither shall your eye pity him, neither shall you spare, neither shall you conceal him, but you shall surely kill him. Your hand shall be first on him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. You shall stone him to death with stones, because he has sought to draw you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. All Israel shall hear and fear, and shall not do any more such wickedness as this in the midst of you. If you shall hear tell concerning one of your cities, which the Lord your God gives you to dwell there, saying, Certain base fellows are gone out from the midst of you, and have drawn away the inhabitants of their city, saying, Let us go and serve other gods, which you have not known. Then shall you inquire, and make search, and ask diligently. And behold, if it be true, and the thing certain, that such an abomination is done in the midst of you, you shall surely strike the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is therein, and the cattle of it with the edge of the sword. You shall gather all the spoil of it into the midst of the street, and burn it with fire in the city, and all the spoil, everything, to the Lord your God, and it shall be a heap forever, it shall not be built again. There shall cleave nothing of the devoted thing to your hand, that the Lord may turn from the fierceness of his anger, and show you mercy, and have compassion on you, and multiply you as he has sworn to your fathers, when you shall listen to the voice of the Lord your God, to keep all his commandments, which I command you this day, to do that which is right in the eyes of the Lord your God. Chapter 14. You are the children of the Lord your God. You shall not cut yourselves, nor make any boldness between your eyes for the dead. For you are a holy people to the Lord your God, and the Lord has chosen you to be a people for his own possession, above all peoples who are on the face of the earth. You shall not eat any abominable thing. These are the animals which you may eat, the ox, the sheep, and the goat, the hart, and the gazelle, and the roebuck, and the wild goat, and the ibex, and the antelope, and the chamois. Every animal that parts the hoof, and has the hoof cloven in two, and chews the cud, among the animals, that you may eat. Nevertheless these you shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or of those that have the hoof cloven, the camel and the hare and the rabbit, because they chew the cud, but don't part the hoof, they are unclean to you. The pig, because it has a split hoof, but doesn't chew the cud, is unclean to you. Of their flesh you shall not eat, and their carcasses you shall not touch. These you may eat of all that are in the waters. Whatever has fins and scales you may eat, and whatever doesn't have fins and scales you shall not eat, it is unclean to you. Of all clean birds you may eat, but these are they of which you shall not eat, the eagle, and the gyre eagle, and the osprey, and the red kite, and the falcon, and the kite after its kind, and every raven after its kind, and the ostrich, and the nighthawk, and the sea-mew, and the hawk after its kind, the little owl, and the great owl, and the horned owl, and the pelican, and the vulture, and the cormorant, and the stork, and the heron after its kind, and the hoopoe, and the bat. All winged creeping things are unclean to you, they shall not be eaten. Of all clean birds you may eat. You shall not eat of anything that dies of itself. You may give it to the foreigner living among you who is within your gates, that he may eat it, or you may sell it to a foreigner, for you are a holy people to the Lord your God. You shall not boil a kid in its mother's milk. You shall surely tithe all the increase of your seed, that which comes forth from the field year by year. You shall eat before the Lord your God, in the place which he shall choose to cause his name to dwell there, the tithe of your grain, of your new wine, and of your oil, and the firstborn of your herd and of your flock, that you may learn to fear the Lord your God always. If the way be too long for you, so that you are not able to carry it, because the place is too far from you, which the Lord your God shall choose to set his name there, when the Lord your God shall bless you, then shall you turn it into money, and bind up the money in your hand, and shall go to the place which the Lord your God shall choose. And you shall bestow the money for whatever your soul desires, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or for whatever your soul asks of you. And you shall eat there before the Lord your God, and you shall rejoice, you and your household. The Levite who is within your gates, you shall not forsake him, for he has no portion nor inheritance with you. At the end of every 3 years you shall bring forth all the tithe of your increase in the same year, and shall lay it up within your gates. And the Levite, because he has no portion nor inheritance with you, and the foreigner living among you, and the fatherless, and the widow who are within your gates, shall come and eat and be satisfied, that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work of your hand which you do. Chapter 15. At the end of every 7 years you shall make a release. This is the manner of the release. Every creditor shall release that which he has lent to his neighbor. He shall not exact it of his neighbor and his brother, because the Lord's release has been proclaimed. Of a foreigner you may exact it, but whatever of yours is with your brother your hand shall release. However, there shall be no poor with you, for the Lord will surely bless you in the land which the Lord your God gives you for an inheritance to possess it, if only you diligently listen to the voice of the Lord your God, to observe to do all this commandment which I command you this day. For the Lord your God will bless you, as he has promised you, and you shall lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow, and you shall rule over many nations, but they shall not rule over you. If there be with you a poor man, one of your brothers, within any of your gates in your land which the Lord your God gives you, you shall not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from your poor brother, but you shall surely open your hand to him, and shall surely lend him sufficient for his need in that which he wants. Beware that there not be a base thought in your heart, saying, The 7th year, the year of release, is at hand, and your eye be evil against your poor brother, and you give him nothing, and he cry to the Lord against you, and it be sin to you, you shall surely give to him, and your heart shall not be grieved when you give to him, because that for this thing the Lord your God will bless you in all your work, and in all that you put your hand to. For the poor will never cease out of the land. Therefore I command you, saying, you shall surely open your hand to your brother, to your needy, and to your poor in your land. If your brother, a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman, be sold to you, and serve you 6 years, then in the 7th year you shall let him go free from you. When you let him go free from you, you shall not let him go empty. You shall furnish him liberally out of your flock, and out of your threshing floor, and out of your winepress. As the Lord your God has blessed you, you shall give to him. You shall remember that you were a bondservant in the land of Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you. Therefore I command you this thing today. It shall be, if he tell you, I will not go out from you, because he loves you and your house, because he is well with you, then you shall take an awl, and thrust it through his ear to the door, and he shall be your servant forever. Also to your maidservant you shall do likewise. It shall not seem hard to you, when you let him go free from you, for to the double of the hire of a hireling has he served you 6 years, and the Lord your God will bless you in all that you do. All the firstborn males that are born of your herd and of your flock you shall sanctify to the Lord your God. You shall do no work with the firstborn of your herd, nor shear the firstborn of your flock. You shall eat it before the Lord your God year by year, in the place which the Lord shall choose, you and your household. If it have any blemish, as if it be lame or blind, any ill blemish whatever, you shall not sacrifice it to the Lord your God. You shall eat it within your gates. The clean and the unclean alike shall eat it, as the gazelle and as the hart. Only you shall not eat its blood. You shall pour it out on the ground as water. Chapter 16. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover to the Lord your God. For in the month of Abib the Lord your God brought you forth out of Egypt by night. You shall sacrifice the Passover to the Lord your God, of the flock and the herd, in the place which the Lord shall choose, to cause his name to dwell there. You shall eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction, for you came forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that you may remember the day when you came forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of your life. There shall be no yeast seen with you in all your borders 7 days, neither shall any of the flesh, which you sacrificed the first day at evening, remain all night until the morning. You may not sacrifice the Passover within any of your gates, which the Lord your God gives you, but at the place which the Lord your God shall choose, to cause his name to dwell in, there you shall sacrifice the Passover at evening, at the going down of the sun, at the season that you came forth out of Egypt. You shall roast and eat it in the place which the Lord your God shall choose, and you shall turn in the morning, and go to your tents. 6 days shall you eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day shall be a solemn assembly to the Lord your God. You shall do no work therein. 7 weeks shall you number to you, from the time you begin to put the sickle, to the standing grain shall you begin to number 7 weeks. You shall keep the feast of weeks to the Lord your God, with a tribute of a freewill offering of your hand, which you shall give, according as the Lord your God blesses you. And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you, and your son and your daughter, and your manservant and your maidservant, and the Levite who is within your gates, and the foreigner, and the fatherless, and the widow who are in the midst of you, in the place which the Lord your God shall choose, to cause his name to dwell there. You shall remember that you were a bondservant in Egypt, and you shall observe and do these statutes. You shall keep the Feast of Tents 7 days. After that you have gathered in from your threshing floor and from your winepress. And you shall rejoice in your feast, you and your son and your daughter, and your manservant and your maidservant, and the Levite, and the foreigner, and the fatherless, and the widow who are within your gates. 7 days shall you keep a feast to the Lord your God, in the place which the Lord shall choose, because the Lord your God will bless you in all your increase, and in all the work of your hands, and you shall be altogether joyful. 3 times in the year shall your males appear before the Lord your God, in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tents, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Lord your God which he has given you. Judges and officers shall you make in all your gates, which the Lord your God gives you, according to your tribes, and they shall judge the people with righteous judgment. You shall not wrest justice, you shall not respect persons, neither shall you take a bribe, for a bribe does blind the eyes of the wise, and pervert the words of the righteous. That which is altogether just shall you follow, that you may live, and inherit the land which the Lord your God gives you. You shall not plant an Asherah of any kind of tree beside the altar of the Lord your God, which you shall make. Neither shall you set yourself up a pillar, which the Lord your God hates.